Welcome to MTG Ectoplasm, your home for Spirit Travel and Magic the Gathering. I'm your host, Dwight, aka D Blanco, a medium that wears an extra large. You can reach out to me on Twitter at MTG Ectoplasm, or you can email me directly at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. Let me know how am I doing. Am I doing a good job, a bad job, or maybe I shouldn't quit my day job? Now, like I ask each and every single episode, do me a favor, hit that follow, like, subscribe button. It could be up here, over here, or somewhere down here. I don't know where you're watching. You could be watching on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I have no clue. Or you could be listening to the show on Spotify, Google, or Apple podcast. So I want to thank you, please. But remember, because of these algorithms, you need to share this podcast with people for them to be aware of it. So you need to hit that follow, like, subscribe button, and then plus share this with everybody and their mother who likes Magic the Gathering. Because if you like the show, they'll like the show. And then now, like I do each and every single episode, I bring in the young lady who does all the stuff on the background. She can be a little naggy here and there, but I don't blame her because of the fact that I put a lot on her plate. But she's the irresistible one. She's the ravishing one. She's the one, the only, the one I call the ravishing Renata. How you doing there, ravishing?
I'm doing good.
You feeling a little crabby this morning?
No.
Yeah, we went to a haunted house this weekend. This weekend we went to a place called Field of Terror in East Windsor, New Jersey. Had a great time. If you're in the New Jersey tri-state area, it's a moral imperative. Try the Field of Terror. We did a corn maze.
And the haunted barn.
The haunted carnival barn. They got a thing where you can shoot zombies and they walk around. They got the thing where they can touch you. You don't touch them, but they can touch you. And then the hay rides. Great time. And let me just tell you, the apple cider donuts, chef's kiss. Let me just tell you, absolutely, absolutely delicious. I know I had a great time. You had a great time, Ravishing?
I had a great time, yeah.
If you can see my eye, yeah, it's all jacked up. Have no fear. It's not pink eye. It's just she beats me. No, I'm joking. But I wanted to do this episode, and it's been the time where I wanted to do this episode because there's a young man. He's part of the Boo Crew, Ravishing, and he reached out to me while my mom was ill and we got sick. But he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got this deck list that I want to share with you, and I wanted to share it with the listening and viewing audience." And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, Boo Crew, is that I've played this deck myself. You aware of this, Ravishing?
No.
Yeah, I actually played this deck myself, and I thought it was really good. And then people started finding answers, and it really upset me. So I stepped away from the deck. And then I was like, "Oh well, here's Pioneer," and I'm like focusing on Pioneer. Went back to Modern, going back to Pioneer again, and then all of a sudden, it's like this young man, Mike, from Oshawa, Ontario, reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, there's this deck you need to check out." I'm like, "Yo, my friend, I know the deck you're talking about because I played it." Yeah, there's a couple new pieces that they've added to it, but it's time for how I like the. I'm an individual that tells you go out there, try new different things. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Here you go. Here's a deck that I would recommend to you, the listening and viewing audience. Boo Crew. I'm going to bring you, and hopefully you hit that little thumbnail. Spirit Blade. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking our deck, Spirits, and we added home. Well, Renata, Ravishing, let's bring up the deck list so you can see what we're talking about. And it's, look at that. Who could it be in there? Stoneforge Mystic. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. What happens is back in the day, there used to be a deck called Call Blade, right? And it was very popular, did exceptionally well, and it ended up getting Jace the Mind Sculptor banned and other cards banned. Well, somebody in their infinite wisdom said, "You know what? Let's add a little spiritual renaissance to it, get the little revival going on here." And it did very well in the very beginning with Spirits, and then it just dropped off because people found answers. And you know what I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen? This is a hidden gem that most people are unaware of. Now, I'm going to go through the deck. I'm going to share with you all my thoughts, especially what this young man did with his deck, Mr. Mike from Oshawa, Ontario. Now he's saying he's like he laughs. He's like, yeah, I'm a bit of a spear master where I'm from. Laugh out loud. But he does very well. 90% of the time he wins 100% of the time. I'm like, okay, I like that math. 100% or 90%. Yeah, I'll go with that. And he takes pride in the game because he's been in and out. Well, let's see these offerings, shall we? He's running 32 creatures: 4 Mausoleum Wanderer, 4 Supreme Phantom, 4 Rattle Chains, 3 Thalia Guide of Thraben. This is a special key card that our friend Andre Segura, the Spirit Master, enjoys and loves. Then you have 4 Stoneforge Mystics, 3 Unsettled Mariner, which I like, but it's one of those. It's a card that has a little soft side to me, but at the same time, I'm like, mm. Then you have 3 Skyclave Apparition, big fan of. 3 Spell Queller, big fan of. 4 Geist of Saint Traft. Now, some of you are like, what the hell is this card? Yeah, this is a card that came back in the day, and it was one of the key cards in Spirits. We're going to get deeper into this card a little bit later. Now, there's no instants or sorceries. And the reason why is that we're going to go heavy into what we call an artifact package here. We're running 7 artifacts due to Stoneforge. And we're going to begin with 1 Sword of Fire and Ice. Anybody knows Fire and Ice? Very nice. 1 Caldra Complete. Well, back in my day when we first started playing, we had Caldra Incomplete. Why? Because it was a shield, a sword, and a helm. Then we got a 1 Maul of the Skyclave, very nice. And then 4 Aether Vial, which is standard in every single modern spirit deck. Now let's look at the land, shall we? 4 Seacrum Coast, of course. 4 Flooded Strands, of course. 2 Hollowed Fountains, why not? Then 2 Islands and Plains, 3 Cavernous Souls, 2 Ottawa Soaring Cities. I'm like, that's interesting. But I skipped over something, right, ladies and gentlemen? And that's Ghost Quarter. That's right. I skipped over Ghost Quarter because this is a card that we don't see too much. This is a card that I'm asking and begging Watsy, please turn this into a creature. I'm asking for it to be called Ghost Attendant or Quarters Attendant. And make it a white and a generic and make whatever that is into like a 1/2 flyer. That's mine. Watsy, if you're watching and listening, please do so. And then now let's look at our sideboard. Ready? Just 15, obviously. 2 Test of Talents. Now, I'm going to be quite sincere with you. This is a card that I thought had high aspirations. I was like, ooh, this one gets me a little titillated. Unfortunately, titillation turned into. But let's see. Let's go through the deck and see what goes. It's not a bad card. I'm not saying it's a good card. It's one of those cards that just may stroke the ego. Then you have 2 Force of Negation, 2 Chalice of the Voids. Aha! I love the Chalice of the Void. 1 Sanctifier Invect, which I'm a big fan of Sanctifier Invect. 4 Katiki War Wage. Now I'm like, this one, I'm like, I like it, but in this deck, 3 March of the Otherworldly Light, and then 1 Sword of War and Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a bad deck. There's certain key cards in here, like I would go Unsettled Mariner, Ghost Quarter, and then Kentucky. And this is the reason why. What happens is Unsettled Mariner, yes, it technically, because it's a shapeshifter, it's a spirit, it fits. But realistically, if they're going to target something, they're going to target no matter what. And it's a shame. It sucks, but if it was like a Ward 2 or more, I would be like, chef's kiss, this is wonderful. I love it. Now, Ghost Quarter. I like Ghost Quarter a lot because it does take away a particular mana that affects our opponent. But then it subtracts, it hurts us inside. I prefer Field of Ruin so we don't lose the mana base that we have. Okay, fine, they get a land, we get a land, but Ghost Quarter, they get a land and we lose nothing. We lose our mana advantage. Still a good card though. And then finally, Kataki. Well, Kataki to Kataki. One thing I love about Kataki, it really goes out of its way to screw artifacts. But the problem is we're running a artifact deck. If we're running an artifact deck, why would we want to screw ourselves? This is one card that I'm like, mm, mm-mm. As much I'd probably put in like 2, not 3. I would actually put in more. I mean, feel shoot, rest in peace in here. Now, Test of Talents. I'm a big fan of Test and Talents, but there's other cards in there that I would rather. Mystic Dispute. What other one I would want to put in there? I don't know. Let me think about it. Chalice of Void, I'm a big fan of Chalice of the Void right now because the fact that for 1 mana, if you're looking at our mana base, oh well, we have Mausoleum Wanderer, and then that's right. That's it. The 1 mana, and then you got the Aether Vial. It fits. It fits nice. You can sit there and screw over Ragavan, the Nimble Pilferer. It's a good deck. Now, how the deck plays, realistically and honestly, yeah, you want to. The whole goal, in realistically, is that you want to put your Aether Vial out first. That's the whole goal if you can get it, and then next thing you're just shooting, spitting out creatures left and right, using the flash ability or the fact of using uh, the Aether Vial ability. But the thing is that this deck isn't like your typical tempo deck. This is where we set up our board state a little bit slower. And then when we get our key cards by using uh, Stoneforge Mystic, we can then get our artifacts cards that we need, like Sword of Fire and Ice, Keldra Complete, or the Maul of Skyclaves, and then put it on a key card and then boom, fly in for the victory. Let me just tell you, it's wonderful. One thing I understand the reason why the young man, Mike, ended up putting in Sound Mariner is because he wants to make sure it slows down our opponent from dealing with us, dealing with our board state, because the fact of Thalia, because all spells are going to cost a little bit more, it's going to really slow down our opponent. So, Ravishing, why don't we go to the next slide, if you don't mind? And here we are. Let's look at Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. A generic and a white, a 2/1 legendary creature, human soldier. Wish she was a spirit. Unfortunately, she's not. She has first strike. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Unfortunately, it costs all our artifacts 1 more to go. But is that a problem? No. Why? Because next to her is Stoneforge Mystic, a generic and a white, a 1/2 core artificer. When Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search the library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Very nice. Right? Not bad. Turn 2. So you put an Aether Vial, turn 1. Turn 2, you put a counter on your Aether Vial. You play your Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, I get a card that I need. Very, very nice. I hold on to that little artifact in my hand. And then on my opponent's turn, maybe I play that Mausoleum Wanderer. And then on my upcoming turn, where I hopefully have 2 or 3 mana, it says tap a generic and white. You may put an equipment card. Sorry, let me read that. Tap a generic and a white in itself. You may put an equipped card from your hand onto the battlefield. Well, when you want to put that on the Mausoleum Wanderer, ooh, just saying, very, very nice. And the fact that now your Aether Vial now tags up to 2. Now you can actually potentially protect it with rattle chains. Just throwing it out there. Just, just this is the little tech advice that I'm giving you since I played this version of the deck. Then finally, you got the Geist of Saint Traft. Let me just tell you, I love this card. A generic, a white and a blue, 2/2, legendary creature, spirit cleric. It has hexproof. Oh, how could you not like that? I just wish it also had flying. But let's keep on reading, shall we? Whenever Geist of St. Treff attacks, create a 4/4 white angel token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Exile that token at the end of combat. Now, Ravishing, this is what I call a 2-for-1. I attack for 1, you're getting nailed with 2 creatures. What do you think?
Ouch.
Exactly. Ouch. The fact that it's a 2/2 and you got a 4/4 flying creature, Hey, we talking about 6. Not bad, right? And the fact that it has hexproof, you know what that means, Ravishing?
What?
It means that our opponent can't do nothing to it except for, this is the reason why I wish it had flying. It can block, and that's all they can do. They can't cast spells, they can't target it, they can do nothing to it except for block it. And that's why I wish it had flying. It makes me sad. It brings me to tears.
Aww.
But still, an exceptional card. The fact that it can do that. Now, the reason why you're going to go, well, Dwight, it doesn't have flying, but it does all these mystical, magical things that we like to do. Well, let me give you my revelation on that. Here it is. Ready? The revelation is this. You can put one of the artifacts, if you don't have the Mausoleum Wanderer or another spirit on the battlefield, to sit there and put the equipment on. Let me just tell you, this here, my friends, is where you really want to attach your equipment. Why? Because it has hexproof. Your opponent can't do nothing to it. And if you can put a really badass enchantment to it, equipment to it, oh, bravo! That's 10 out of 10. That's 5 stars, buddy. I don't care who you are. Your opponent's gonna go look across the board, going, "Yeah, I'll go 1 or 2 more turns, but yeah, my life sucks." This is some bullshit. Straight up bullshit. Now let's look at the next slide, shall we? Next slide. Oh, here's the equipments that we're talking about. Ready? Sword and Fire and Ice. 3 generic. This is a classic. This is from back in the day. I'm going to read it for you. Artifact equipment. And it reads, equipped creature gets 2+2 and has protection from red and white. Wow. If you put that on, I don't know, Geist Saint Traft, who's a 2/2, he becomes now a 4/4 with protection of red and blue. Protection from red and blue. Are you kidding me? I don't know about you, but it makes it a lot more difficult for our opponents to deal with, right? Let's keep on reading, shall we? Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, so the damage must go through. Sword of Fire and Ice deals 2 to any target, and you draw a card. Any target. That means Planeswalker. That means any creature on the board state, or it could be the opponent themselves. Very nice. And what's the problem? What's the key problem, Renata? Oh, maybe you don't know because you really don't play spirits too much. The key problem, ladies and gentlemen, the Boo Crew, is that guess what? We suck at card drawing when it comes to spirits. It's awful. Oh, it drives me nuts. Oh, vey. It drives me mushugan. Let me just tell you. The fact that we can't get card draw in spirits. But look, he has equipment too. Okay, not a bad thing. So, oh, I can play my I don't know, Stoneforge Mystic, grab the Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh, I could put this on the battlefield. Oh, and equip it. Oh, very, very nice. Very nice. Very sexy. This one, I like this. Deals damage and we draw a card. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's look at Keldra Complete, shall we? 7 mana. Well, thank God for our Stoneforge Mystic with its generic and a white, and tap it. It's a legendary artifact equipment. And it reads, a living weapon. If you don't know what a living weapon means, it comes on the battlefield with a little germ. It's like a real life thing. And then if you kill the creature, kill the token, it has indestructible. Oofa. Oofa. Now, mind you, think about this. You add that on to Geist Saint Traff, who has hexproof, and this creature's now indestructible. There's nothing your opponent can do. Nothing. And you're going to constantly attack with the Geist of St. Jeff with a 4/4 flyer on top of it. Let's keep on reading the shenanigans that Keldra Complete does, shall we? Equipped creature gets 5+5.
Wow.
What? Hell, just do me a favor. Just put this on Mausoleum Wanderer. How what just happened here? Yeah, I'm Mausoleum Wanderer from 1 to a 6. I haven't even finished reading yet, right? Has first strike. Okay. Has trample. Okay. Indestructible. Okay. Haste. Oh, that means I can attack this turn when it comes out? Okay. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. So if it's that stupid little freaking monkey Ragavan, guess what? We spanked the hell out of that monkey and he's out of here. Equip costs a 7, though. But that's why we have Stoneforge Mystic. Wow. Wow, man. Now let's look at the last one, shall we? This one was a little bit of shocking to me. The Mall of the Skyclaves. Not like you're going to the mall and go shopping like we did back in the 80s, but a mall, M-A-U-L. Mall of the Skyclaves, 2 generic and a white, artifact equipment. Shall we read? When Mall of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. So if I draw this card, and I have 3 mana, okay, not a problem. If I had a choice, what would I want to attach this to? Let's keep on reading and I'll tell you my thought. I'll give you my hot take. Ready? Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Very nice. It gets flying. And then finally, first strike. Now, the equipped card is 2 generic and 2 white mana. But who would I want to attach this to? Anything that didn't have flying? I don't know. Shall we go back to what's that guy's name that creates the 4/4 spirit? Oh, come on, I'm messing around here. Of course, the Geist of Saint Draft. Why would you not want to put this on the Geist of Saint Draft? It has hexproof. Oh, no, it has flying and first strike, and it's +2/+2. So now I got a 4/4 flying Geist of Saint Draft with an angel of 4/4, and I'm smashing in for 8. Uh, uh, do we see a problem here? I'll tell you right now, our opponents who didn't expect to see this deck goes, where the hell did this come from? Huh? This is a deck? This is a viable deck? This is yo, my man, my girl, you went rogue. Technically, this is a rogue spirit deck. You can't this is what I'm talking about when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you gotta go back in the day and find out where you are. I want to thank Mike from where Oshawa, Ontario, from the Great White North. I want to thank you, my man, for bringing this deck to light. Because realistically and honestly, I think this is a deck that can and will win NFNMs. Now, if I took this to, let's say, a major event, I don't know, Star City Games event in Philadelphia, maybe I catch people by surprise. Maybe I don't. But there's only one way to find out, right? Put your money where your mouth is. To go out there and try it. Now, like I said before, I've tried this deck and it worked exceptionally well. And the reason why, nobody was expecting this. Nobody saw this coming around the corner. But then when they started figuring out and started having answers at my LGS, at my local game store, then I was like, okay, time to put this thing to sleep for a little bit. And you know what? It's been asleep for maybe 2 years. I think it's time to bring this little bad boy back out and bring this spirited deck back out and give my LGS some hell. Now let's go to the next slide. Shall we, Ravishing? Here are the lands. Ghost Quarter and the Ottawa Soaring of the City. Let me start with the Ottawa. It taps for 1 blue, right? Because it's in a legendary land. It has channel. Not bad. Now, let's keep on reading. The channel is a generic and 3. Discard Ottawa, Soaring City. Return target artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker back to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're aware, but if you looked at the deck, we're running 2 legendary creatures. That's Thalia and Geist of Saint Draft. So potentially, this can turn into a 2 mana card. And basically, if there's a card on the table that you're having problems dealing with, boop, boop, boop. That thing goes back to your hand, and guess what? Potential victory right there. Very, very nice. I like. It's my stamp of approval. I wish we had a thing of a stamp of approval. Now let's look at Ghost Quarter, shall we? Ghost Quarter. It's a basic land. Oh, it's just a land. It's not a basic, just a land, and it asks for a colorless. And it also reads: tap it, sacrifice Ghost Quarter, destroy target land. Its controller may search its library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. I like this card. I really do, because it can take away the mana sources that are 2 mana, the Triumph lands like 3 mana. Maybe there's a mana base out there like I don't know, or there's a saga that's bothering us, and it gets rid of it. The problem I have with this card is the fact that oh, they get to search the card for a basic land, and then we have to sacrifice Ghost Quarter so our mana base goes down while they stay where they are. I understand why this card is in there. I'm not besmirching Mike on it. I like it. I If you're gonna be slow and slow up the game, just go fires to it. Just go Field of Ruin. You could go either or, but my choice would have been Field of Ruin here. But it's a solid card for those land bases out there that just a pain in the ass. Absolutely. So let's look at the next slide, shall we? Oh, ravishing! What is this that we see here?
Well, we now have our Boot Crew shirts available in our MTG Ectoplasm merch store, as well as our MTG Ectoplasm, MTG Ectoplasm IRL, and MTG Ectoplasm gameplay shirts.
Very nice. And what am I holding in my hand right now?
A coffee mug.
Ooh, MTG Ectoplasm coffee mug. Trust me, right now, this coffee tastes so delicious. It tastes like super duper coffee. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, MTGEctoplasm.com. Support the show. Get your t-shirts, MTG Ectoplasm, MTG Ectoplasm IRL, MTG Ectoplasm Gameplay. And guess what? The Brew Crew t-shirts are at that. That's out here. Boo Crew. That's right. It says MTG Ectoplasm and then Boo Crew. Get it while it's hot. Men, women sizes, all sizes. Hell, if you want some baby sizes, let us know. We'll try to do what we can to get you some baby ones. Because, babies like to say boo. Boo. Especially during Halloween. So, Ravishane, let's go to the next slide, shall we? And this is what we have, the sideboard. Here we are. Chalice of the Void, X and X. It's an artifact that reads, Chalice of the Void enters the battlefield where X charge counters on it. So if you pay 2, you put a 1. If you pay 4, you get 2. You pay 6, you get 3. You get the point. Whenever a player casts a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Chalice of the Void, counter that spell. Very delish. I like this card. Why? I don't know. There's a card called Living End. What is the other? Crash of Rhinos. You put this on the battlefield for 0. No. No, my friend. No happening. Not today. Not today. If I pay 2, guess what? That stupid monkey Ragavan and his lightning bolt and Mausoleum Wanderer. No, not Mausoleum. Monastery Swift Spear or whatever other 1 mana costs out there. Not happening. And the fact that some people are like, well, I don't understand how this works. Here's a simple. Ready? If you have Cavern of Souls onto the battlefield, guess what? You can still play your card, even though there's a Chalice of the Void on the play, because they can't counter it. The Chalice can't counter it. Aether Vial. You're no longer casting, you're just putting a card onto the battlefield. So our deck with the Aether Vial works around this card. Chef's kiss. I love it. Kentucky Wars Wage. Big fan of this card. Just a little skeptical in this deck. Generic and a white is a legendary creature spirit. Another legendary creature here works well with Otawara, right? It's a 2/1. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 1 mana. We're already mana. We're constricting ourselves here with mana. Paying the additional 1, it's tough. But in general, like it a lot. I like it very much. Then you got the Sword of War and Peace. 3 generic artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and white. I wonder who will we throw this on. Guys, sing draft. That's a hit. Guys, stuff sing draft. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, Sword of War and Peace, Sword of War and Peace deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in hand. Very nice. I got no complaints there. You may gain life for each card in your hand. You know why I like this card, ladies and gentlemen? Because of the fact that there's another issue with spirits. We generally don't like to gain. We don't gain life, and if we do gain life, it puts the bar in our favor. Because since we're not drawing cards, it means that we can stay out there a little bit longer to fight the good fight. Think about it. The longer we stay alive makes it more difficult for our opponent to kill us. The longer we stay alive, it gives us more opportunity to kill our opponent. You see where I'm getting at? You see where I'm going here? War and Peace is a really good card. Is it better than Fire and Ace? No, but still very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Reach out to me at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com and let me know what your thoughts. Is this something you're willing to try? Something you're going, hey, I don't know. I'm going to just stick to my band. I'm going to stick to my Azorius. Hell, you know what? I gave up on modern. I'm in Pioneer, and I'll just stick with my Azorius. My mono blue snow build or my band. Dwight, you're speaking shenanigans about the Azorius. Maybe I'll try that. But let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, come on, Boo Crew, try this deck out. I'm telling you, it is fun. I like this deck, and I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take it to my LGS and make them go once again. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Now, before I end the show tonight, I'm making you aware of my announcement here. The announcement is this: the Boo Crew has spoken at Philadelphia. The Star City Games event happening in November. I think it's 11th through the 13th. I got permission from the Ravishing Renata, right? Ravishing?
Yes.
Yes, I got permission?
Yes.
I can go to the Star City Game event?
Yes.
That's 3 times you heard it, ladies and gentlemen, so I will be there. So I hope you're there wearing your Boo Crew t-shirt or an MTG Ectoplasm t-shirt. Who knows? I might be handing out some spirit tokens while I'm there. I'm just saying. If you see me, just go, hey, MTG Ectoplasm. I like the show. I might hand out spirit tokens. Just saying. But I asked you, the Boo Crew, hey, what deck should I play for this event? I sat there and said, should I play Modern Azorius or should I play Pioneer Azorius? And people are like, come on, bro. What's up with the Azorius? Everybody knows snow, the mono blue snow and bandits where it's at. And then when you go to modern, everybody knows that I ain't afraid of a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it. I got no shame. Come on, let's bring it on. I got the fighting spirit. I got the eye of the tiger. Let me just tell you. I take them all. I'll wear that crown. I know where my throne is. It's right here. I got the other one in the bathroom, but that's a different story. So the audience has spoke. You, the Boo Crew, have spoken, and I will be playing Pioneer Azorius. That's right. So if you see me there and you're my competitor, that sucks because you already know what I'm playing. But for everybody else there, you know what I'm playing too because I'm not afraid. I welcome the challenge. Come on, bruh. Come on, sis. Bring it on. I'll go fist the cuffs for you. I'll bob and weave, try to knock you out like Mike Tyson did back in the day. I won't bite your ear. Okay, that's what thing he did back in the 90s. Kind of creepy, but I promise not to bite your ear. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank Mike from Oshawa, Ontario, for sending me his deck list and to remind me of Spirit Blade. I haven't seen it in a while, and I'm going to try it. I'm excited. I'm jovial. I'm giddy, and I can't wait to do it. What do you think, Ravishing?
Let's do it.
There you go. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you're kicking your opponent's ass, make sure they say, that's Boo Sheets.